Hi, y'all. I was struck by lightning in the mid 80s. I just secured the two children in their car seats in the back seat of the car. A bolt of electricity hit the ground next to me. It shot up through my leg and through my right arm, and then shot out of my fingertips into the side of the car I was standing next to. In that short millisecond, I was thrown through the front open door and landed in the front seat. Dazed and confused, I regained my senses and checked for damage. My kids were safe and untouched. There were no burns or bruises on my body. Later that evening, my right side became temporarily paralyzed. I was once with a church youth group rafting in a Florida river. We just picked up a pickup truck full of inner tubes. The truck had wooden sides to help hold in the tubes. There was nothing to keep the tubes in the back of the truck except for some rope. One of the group members offered a ride on top to try to keep the tubes from falling off. I stood on the back of the truck to help keep them in the rear. The driver of the truck had little concern for us as the tubes themselves and drove too fast. This caused the guy on top to hold on and shift his weight, pushing the tubes further back. The tubes started flapping in the wind and started pushing me off the back of the truck. Pressure from the tubes was more than I could handle. I let go with one hand and shoved the front end of my foot into a rectangular hole in the rear bed of the truck. While all this was going on, I was screaming for the driver to stop. I was about to be pushed off the truck, going around 60 miles an hour. Fortunately, another group member caught up with us, saw my predicament, persuaded the truck driver to pull over. I got off the truck and the tubes were then resecured. While assisting a client to move from a very poor and dangerous location to a better living facility, I faced death once again. As I was walking up to the sidewalk, an axe whizzed past my head, just missing me. I ran up to the door and jumped in to get out of danger. The client informed me that the neighbors were jealous that someone from the projects was able to get into a better place. Out of their frustration became the attack on my life. I once was pulling a 220 line from one room to set up a dryer in another. I had already shut off the breakers. What I didn't know was that someone previously had run a line directly from the main line on the street. I pulled the wires, they hit together, and I was thrown backwards and knocked unconscious. When I regained my senses, my left thumb was smoking. I've had a few other close calls with death over the years. A gas heater exploded and blew all the hair off of my face once. I had a heart attack in 2018, double bypass surgery in 2023. Our lives are temporary. Anything can happen at any time. No one is immune from death. We can be taken from this world at a moment's notice. We cannot deny our mortality, though we always try. Always be ready. Re examine your lives, your decisions, your behaviors, and your souls. Are you ready for the inevitable? Are you afraid to die? Now is a good time to evaluate your readiness for what comes next. Whether you believe in an afterlife or not, the things that you do now will affect the future. History will judge and vilify the MAGA cult and its fascist leaders. History will also reward those who stand against this axis of evil and promote goodness.